Zach Scarniello, NASCAR.com. Martin, I think every driver wants to go out on top, and you get pole in each of your last 2 full-time Cup starts. How meaningful is that for you?
It's very cool. Honestly, you always want to be known as a guy that can go fast. At any track in any situation. Pressure's always pretty high for qualifying. You got to go out there and nail that perfect lap. You only get one shot at it these days, so it's always fun to go out there and beat everyone in anything. So it feels good. It's very, very cool. But the big prize is tomorrow, so hopefully we can get that one.
All right, we'll go to the back to Davey, and then Jonathan, do you have a question? Okay, we'll go Davey, Jonathan, and then if I can get the microphone to Jonathan over here in the far left as well. Go ahead, Davey.
Davey C with Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. So you're fast. You got track position now. I know that you said you haven't really gotten emotional. You haven't thought too much about what the storybook ending could really be. But have you now maybe allowed yourself to start having those thoughts?
Just stop. I'm excited for tomorrow. As far as I'll get, that is. I hope we can celebrate tomorrow. After the race, that'd be make it all really, really cool. So, not emotional at all. Excited. Looking forward to tomorrow.
All right, John, go ahead.
John Haverland, the Circuit Journal, right from Davey here. So Joey is sitting there saying all those great things about how you guys are friends now and all that good stuff. When people think of you and Joey, they probably still think of Martinsville, that race all those years ago.
Yeah.
How long after that did it take for you guys to start to mend a friendship?
That's a tough question. I mean, this sport, you have people you have run-ins with, and at some point in time you got to just move on, right? Like, life goes on, things happen. It's racing, and I've always had a ton of respect for Joey off the racetrack. He's a great guy. Does things the right way, treats people right. All the things I think that a good human being does. So it took a little while on the racetrack, obviously, to get over that and understand, kind of wrap your head around, forgiving someone for running you over. But at the end of the day, you have to. Life goes on. But Joey's always been a class act off the track, and we've always had a decent relationship as far as that goes. Just we've had a few run-ins on the track, and those you always keep in the back of your mind for certain situations. But it doesn't make you dislike someone or hate someone. I mean, it's just part of racing.
All right, let's see. Jonathan, go ahead.
Jonathan Beal, the racing experts. Earlier you were talking about how you raced at Wall Stadium, the Turkey Derby, when you were about 19 years old. Looking back on then, could you ever pictured how low you're running right now toward the end of your, major league career 25 years later?
I mean, honestly, when I was doing that, I didn't know what I was going to do after that. All I knew was I was going to race Saturday night, and I was going to drive, an hour to Atlantic City after I parked my trailer and get on a clam boat. So I wasn't thinking about any of this. I'll be honest, never crossed my mind that I'd even race for a living until, a few years into my Busch North experience where, started to kind of feel like there might be an opportunity for me to drive for someone someday. So it was long, long after racing at Wall Stadium.
All right, I have another one right here. Yep, and then we'll get you a microphone.
Brian Twining, Bethworth Media Group. Last year we saw the first ever non-championship board driver win the championship race, and I think it's fair to say that you're considered, if not it's fair to say, if not the most, you are a very respectful driver to your opponents. But with this being your last race, are we going to see gloves off Martin Truex Jr. to go for a win if you're battling a playoff driver?
I don't know. I hope I'm in that situation so we can find out. That's all I'll say. I mean, I hope it comes down to that. I don't have any plans. I don't have this, thing in mind that if X, Y, Z happens, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Trying to do the best I can tomorrow. Hopefully, we're in position to have a shot at winning. That would be great. hypotheticals. I don't really deal too well with them, so we're just going to go race and see what happens tomorrow.
All right, go ahead.
Dominic Otter going with the racing answers in the back. You kind of touched on it with the hypotheticals there, but if you were to win tomorrow, and I know there's the talk of the part-time stuff next year, would you just call it a career there if you won the race?
No, I still want to race them.
All right, Kelly, if I can get a microphone to Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Martin, two things. 2 poles in 2 weeks now. It's not like you guys haven't had speed this year, but is there anything different about where this has come from?
Not really, no, I don't think so. I think just, typically good tracks for us qualifying wise. I think last year we won the pole at Martinsville, I think we won last fall we won the pole at Martinsville as well. So we've always qualified well here. We were, I think, 3rd in the spring, and maybe we were really close. Byron just edged us out in round 2, so I think it's just a work in progress, right? We're always looking at past races and trying to, tweak on them and figure out how to get a little bit better. So nothing out of the ordinary, just preparation based off of, past success and continuing to build on that.
I think it took until 2021 to get a win here at Phoenix. The track has obviously changed throughout the years, but how would you just describe your relationship and just the way you feel about what you need here, and are you comfortable here and that type of thing?
Yeah, I definitely am comfortable. I think this is just, it's a really difficult track to get your car doing just exactly what you want because both ends are so different. So it's, 21, we had a really good season here. We won the first race, and obviously we're in the Final Four that year and came up a little short, but had a winning car, no question. So it's harder than ever, I think, to get the car dialed in here. That just because the ends are different, there's no PJ1 sprayed anymore, so there's not really a whole lot you can do as far as like moving around the racetrack to find something that works for your car. It's got to work. Basically, it's got to work on the bottom or around the apron somehow, and it's just hard to get both ends tied together.
Hey Martin, Kenny Sargent, Speed Freaks. All the drivers I spoke to about you, one thing in common: gentleman driver, races you fair. I want to know where that came from for you. Where did that start for Martin Truex back in the day of being a fair, a gentleman driver?
I would say it's somewhat probably my personality to be, to not want to make people upset or angry, I guess. But also, growing up working on my own cars, no question that, I had to fix stuff I've been up. So I was building race cars when I was 18, straight out of school. I was fixing my cars, building body parts, building, you name it. And, when I bent them up, I had to fix them. And a lot of, most of the time I had to pay for it too. So I think it's a little different mentality when you grow up racing that way.
All right, Martin, the final question. If you do win tomorrow, how much Captain Morgan are you going to drink?
A lot.
Dr. Pepper?
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right.
On my way to Huntington with Johnny. So.